felt stuck trying to make your content more visual, you're not alone. Whether you're a beginner, a small business owner, or a digital educator, this quick Canva tutorial will walk you through how to create stunning infographics, step by step, without needing any design experience. By the end of this video, you'll be able to design and share your own infographic like a pro using free Canva tools. Let's jump in.
And welcome back to the course, guys. This is the last lecture of section 6, which is all about creating visuals for social media. In this last lecture, we are going to design an infographic. And following this logic of creating visuals that you actually need, or that I actually need, I'm going to create this infographic with data from our YouTube channel. And this time, not the Fair Trade Connection YouTube channel, because we have not been very active with this channel lately, but the Design with Canva YouTube channel, which is the main channel that Diana and I manage, and we create content about Canva there. So this channel has been growing steadily, and I really would like, with this infographic, to present to my team some data about how the channel is performing, and more particularly about our audience on YouTube as of February 2022. Okay, so we are going to start this project with my pro account. Okay, so this is one of my pro accounts, but rest assured that you can totally follow along with your free account. I'm using my pro account because I have something in there that I will need a little bit later down the road, but you will see that this feature is not a pro only feature. It's just that I have some files on some folders there that I will need to access at some point. Okay, so how do we start? Well, I'm just going to type in infographics in the search bar, infographic, and then Canva will present me a bunch of different infographic, and you will see that the format of these infographics is a pretty long format. Let's preview one of these, 800 by 2000 pixels. So it's relatively narrow, but quite long, okay? So this is kind of typical infographic. And if I scroll down, I see there are a bunch of different infographic templates right here. So this is good. We don't have to start from scratch. And since what I want to create is a data infographic, there is a category here when I click on the search bar that says data infographic. So let's click on that and see how this search is refined, and see if we can find something that would be relevant for us, something that would allow us to present the data on our YouTube channel. So I don't have too much data. I have maybe 5 or 6 entry points. So this one attracts my attention because I can see like it's relatively simple. It has some visuals in it, and it's clean. And I wanted something relatively clean like this one. So I'm gonna inspect this a little bit deeper. It is a free template, so there is no problem for any user to use this. I'm gonna go ahead and roll with this template. Okay, so customize this template. And this is what I will have. Okay, so I will zoom in a little bit. Well, first I want to show you every single section of this. So we have the title, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Might need a little bit more, but I think I have enough space here, especially that I could use this space right here at the top. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to select all of this and bring it up all the way to the save zone here on top. Okay, and Canva will show you where that save zone is with the traditional frame, like the purple frame. So you already know that. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to call this our audience, and then second line on YouTube. Okay, great. I'm going to style the document a little bit later, but for now, what I'm doing here is just like bringing my information, bring the different pieces of data that I'm going to be using, and creating my graphs, bars, etc., etc. Okay, so the first piece of data, I have my channel analytics here. The first piece of data I want to illustrate, so this is the month of February 2022, is that we have had like a lot of impressions on this month, 9.2 million impressions. So what is an impression on YouTube is when your thumbnail is being exposed to the YouTube global audience or to any audience on YouTube for more than 2 seconds. And we can see that the number of impressions has grown by 50%. So this is an important piece of data, and this is something I believe I should be representing in my report here for my team, because this is, in some way, it is a success. Okay, so coming back here, I'm gonna rename this Infographics. Infographics. All right, so the piece of data here should be, you see when I click on this, this is actually a progress ring, which is part of Canva's preset charts and bars and data visualization tools that we have here at our disposal. So let me show you where to access this actually. So obviously here it was in the template. So if I click on it, I can start editing the data. So if I want to say 50%, I can just change here 50%. And I can play around with a few options here. The line weight, for example, I liked it at 10, just like to give it a style that I like. I can also customize the font. Okay, so for now it's Agrandir Medium in 41.8, but I could change that. And I will style the document a little bit later, but for now, just filling in the information. So my text here should say impressions are up 50%, okay, in February 2022. And I can give a little bit more explanation. I'll just copy the explanation from my document that I have here on the side, because there's nothing really interesting for you guys to see me typing for 2 minutes. So I'm going to read it to you though. YouTube likes our content and recommended it more in February. 65.2% of all impressions come from YouTube recommending your content or our content. Let's say our content to new audiences. And this data is pretty much taken from here. You see 9.2 million impressions, 65.2% from YouTube recommending your content. So this is the first piece of information I would say I want to represent on infographics right here. I have these lines that I like, so I'm going to keep the lines and move on to the second part of my infographic here. So I like these two sections here, and I think I could use them, probably not this block of text here. So I'm going to move that. The two guys here, I could come back to them later. I like them, but I want to sort out this section first. So I'm going to bring this up, making sure it is in the middle. And I want to try to respect the same distance between the line and my content for every single section. So it's about so. Okay, so these, I'm going to change their colors for a dark gray. Maybe this dark gray. I'm using my Team Rondi's color palettes here to change a little bit, to give a little bit of a different flavor to the lectures. But for you, obviously, if you have created your own color palette, you will be using your own. Okay, so what is the piece of information here that I want to illustrate? Let's come back to my YouTube channel here and the metrics. So this is the YouTube Creator Studio of our main YouTube channel. So I'm going to click on audience and show you some data about the audience. This is what I want to represent here. The first style, I want to represent the ratio between male and female viewers on the channel. In the second section, I want to represent the distribution of our viewers per country. So the top 5 countries. Okay, so let's start by the male-female ratio. I have some data here that actually indicates, so age and gender. Okay, so female 51.4% and male 48.6%. So this is the data I want to use in this part of my graph. So let me show you where you can find these cool charts and pies and bars and all of this good stuff. You will have to go to your More button right here in the object panel and find the icon that says charts. Okay, so click on that And from here, you will be able to access all of these different graphs. Okay, so for this one, what I want to represent is that my audience is, forgot the number, 51.4%. Let's copy that. 51.4% female. Okay, so that's what I want to represent. Canva has a nice little feature here, this one right here, which is a collection of figures that you can scale up or down. And you can actually create and represent, like visually represent this ratio. Let's choose a woman. So the total number of items, I want to have like 100. Oh, that's a lot of figures here. So I need to scale this down. Let's move this text box out of the way for now. We'll come back to it later. So 51.4% female. So I have the total number of items, 100. And the fill items, let's type in 51.4%. There we go, 51.4. Actually, we have 51. The 0.4 is not represented, but that's good enough. I'm going to change this color for the same color as the other graphs. So this golden color. Yeah, pretty good. And what I can do is to customize this text box right here as well. So again, I have my text here, just copy it and bring it here. So the text says 51.4% of our audience is female and the rest 48.6% is male. Okay, so I'm good with this. I'm gonna position this in here and I can see straight away that maybe this box is a little bit too dark. So maybe I could go with this color right here. Let me see which color that is. Okay, that is the color to the right of the golden color. So maybe let's apply this same color. So this one and the same here. Okay, this looks better. Now, in this second box right here, what I want to represent is the distribution per age of my audience. Okay, so I do have this information as well right here on my YouTube data, on my YouTube insights about my audience. And where is this? Here. So I have these slices of age, 13, 17 years old, 3.5%, etc., etc. And I can see that from the 18 years old to pretty much 44 is where my audience is mostly concentrated. This is the bulk of my audience is between 18 and 44 years old. So this is that, I think the takeaway I want to sum up here is that 18 to 44 years old. Okay, so that's kind of like the age of my audience. Okay, let's move this out of the way one more time. And I'm going to use a chart, like a bar chart. Okay, so histogram chart, no, I would like a bar chart this time. So this kind of graphs. I'm going to put it here for now. I might have to resize it down. And you see all of these boxes here where I could probably input my data. So I could do this manually. So I would have to come here and manually copy and paste and copy and paste. Or you have the ability on Canva to do it from two other different ways. You can paste data from a spreadsheet. So you just copy it in your spreadsheet and paste it here, or you can import a Google Sheets. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have already created and pasted some data here. So this is pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to copy all of that, Control C. Okay, so now this data is copied. I'm going to come back to my chart here and paste data from my spreadsheet right here. And you see now it's right here. I don't have to type it in again. And I have my bar chart, which is representing this data visually right here, which is pretty cool. So I will just change the color to be consistent with the rest of the document. And I have a couple of more options. So my spacing, could space these bars a bit more. Maybe that gives me a better overview of it. And this, like, it's the roundness of the bars. You see, I can use a slightly bigger size for the legend of my bar chart, which is good. I think 8.5, it's legible. That's good. And I will have a little bit of an explanation here of this bar chart, and that will say, and again, I'm importing that from another document. If you're wondering where is this coming from, it says the bulk of our audience is aged between 18 and 44 years old. Okay, so nothing too fancy here, but this is useful information for us to really understand who our target audience is. Okay, we are making some good progress with our infographics. I'm going to continue building my sections. I have 2 more sections here. So I'm going to copy this line. So selecting it, Command C, and then I can come here, click and Command V. And I'm going to bring the line, make sure I have pretty much the same space. Yeah, it's about right. Okay, the next section is about the top countries. Okay, so it's the top countries. I'm going to copy this group of text boxes. So Command C and and Command V right here. I'm going to bring this about here. So this should say top countries. Okay, so I want to give some information about the top countries our audience is watching from. Okay, so for that, I'm going to go back to my YouTube audience statistics here. Okay, so yes, it is here. You can see top geographies. So this gives me a breakdown of the countries. So these are the views in February. So this is just the month of February. United States accounts for 19.5% of all the views in February. Then India, Philippines, Indonesia, United Kingdom. If you sum all of this up, you would realize it doesn't amount to 100%. So there's a bunch of other countries here. If I click on see more, there's a bunch of other countries that need to be also somehow represented. So I'm just going to add one. For more than 2 seconds. And we can actually indicate, so age and presented, but that's good enough. I'm going to change the same color as the other graphs, so this golden color. Yeah, pretty good. And what I can do is to customize this well. So again, I have my text here, just copy it and bring it here. So the text says 51.4% of our audience is female and the rest 48.6% is male. Okay, so I'm good with this. I'm gonna position this in here and I can see straight away that maybe this box is a little bit too dark. So maybe I could go with this color right here. Let me see which color that is. Okay, that is the color to the right of the golden color. So maybe let's apply this same color. So this one and the same here. Okay, this looks better. Now, in this second box right here, what I want to represent is the distribution per age of my audience. Okay, so I do have this information as well right here on my YouTube data, my YouTube insights about my audience. And where is this? Here. So I have these slices of age, 13, 17 years old, 3.5%, etc., etc. And I can see that from the 18 years old to pretty much 44 is where my audience is mostly concentrated. This is the bulk of my audience is between 18 and 44 years old. So this is that, I think the takeaway I want to sum up here is that 18 to 44 years old. Okay, so that's kind of like the age of my audience. Okay, let's move this out of the way one more time. And I'm going to use a chart, like a bar chart. Okay, so histogram chart, no, I would like a bar chart this time. So this kind of graphs. I'm going to put it here for now. I might have to resize it down. And you see all of these boxes here where I could probably input my data. So I could do this manually. So I would have to come here and manually copy and paste and copy and paste. Or you have the ability on Canva to do it from two other different ways. You can paste data from a spreadsheet. So you just copy it in your spreadsheet and paste it here, or you can import a Google Sheets. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have already created and pasted some data here. So this is pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to copy all of that, Control C. Okay, so now this data is copied. I'm going to come back to my chart here and paste data from my spreadsheet right here. And you see now it's right here. I don't have to type it in again. And I have my bar chart, which is representing this data visually right here, which is pretty cool. So I will just change the color to be consistent with the rest of the document. And I have a couple of more options. So my spacing, could space these bars a bit more. Maybe that gives me a better overview of it. And this, like, it's the roundness of the bars. You see, I can use a slightly bigger size for the legend of my bar chart, which is good. I think 8.5, it's legible. That's good. And I will have a little bit of an explanation here of this bar chart, and that will say, and again, I'm importing that from another document. If you're wondering where is this coming from, it says the bulk of our audience is aged between 18 and 44 years old. Okay, so nothing too fancy here, but this is useful information for us to really understand who our target audience is. Okay, we are making some good progress with our infographics. I'm going to continue building my sections. I have two more sections here. So I'm going to copy this line. So selecting it, Command C, and then I can come here, click and Command V. And I'm going to bring the line, make sure I have pretty much the same space. Yeah, it's about right. Okay, the next section is about the top countries. Okay, so it's the top countries. I'm going to copy this group of text boxes. So Command C and and Command V right here. I'm going to bring this about here. So this should say top countries. Okay, so I want to give some information about the top countries our audience is watching from. Okay, so for that, I'm going to go back to my YouTube audience statistics here. Okay, so yes, it is here. You can see top geographies. So this gives me a breakdown of the countries. So these are the views in February. So this is just the month of February. United States accounts for 19.5% of all the views in February. Then India, Philippines, Indonesia, United Kingdom. If you sum all of this up, you would realize it doesn't amount to 100%. So there's a bunch of other countries here. If I click on see more, there's a bunch of other countries that need to be also somehow represented. So I'm just going to add one more entry in my chart that would be others. And this would be the difference between all of this summed up and 100% basically. So I did that here in my spreadsheet. Okay, so I have United States and then I have others, which amounts for 40% roughly. So one more time, I'm going to copy this data and go back to Canva. And this time I'm going to use this pie chart right here. It looks like a donut. Okay, so it's actually called a donut chart. So yeah, perfect. I'm going to scale it down. I want this to be here. And one more time, I'm going to paste my data from my spreadsheet, and you see it's correctly pasted. Looks nice. Yeah, perfect. What I can do is to choose this color right here, and Canva is actually going to distribute the other colors. So this is also interesting. I'm going to try to have 8.5 as well for the legend, for the information, so to remain consistent. So 8.5. Yep, this looks pretty good. And then all I need to do is to change my text here for my actual information. Okay, so I'm bringing that from my other document. So yeah, there we go. We have this text right here. This is pretty cool. I can see, like, I like how everything here is represented. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So all of my data points are actually represented here. Maybe I leave a bit more space in the same idea of having the same space between like each part of the lines. And I do have quite a bit of space here. So this all good. Let's get rid of this, and this. I'm still not quite sure what I do with these illustrations. So I'm going to push them back for now and continue building what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so this line is definitely going to get copied, and I'm going to bring it one more time to about here. And the last section of my infographics is going to be about, so let me copy this block of text first. There we go. This last section is going to be about the ratio of people who are watching our content who are subscribed. Okay, so because I found this statistic right here at the bottom of this page. After this, no, it's watch time from subscribers. Yes, I realized that 69.8% of our viewers in February, so the total views, let's see what it says, activity from viewers who are logged out or not subscribed to the channel. So yes, 69.8%, almost 70% of the people who watch our content are not yet subscribed to the channel. So we are not doing a very good job at motivating people to subscribe. So I found that interesting, and I want to translate that. So let me copy this statistic right here, this number, and come back here. And I'm going to ungroup this. And this title will say 69.8% not yet subscribed. Okay, exclamation point. Not so happy about that. Obviously, it's nobody's fault, but I believe it should be different. Okay, I would love to have a higher proportion of our audience subscribe to the channel. So I have this little blurb here that says, though our channel is growing fast, around 10K new subscribers per month, the number of returning viewers is relatively low. Only 30.2% of our total viewers are subscribed to the channel. So this is the data entry. So that's basically what the data is saying. Now, what I want to do with this is to represent it visually. Okay, so that's the whole point of creating infographics. And Canva has a nice little tool for this one. I'm going to use this specific chart right here. So this is a progress bar. Okay, so a progress bar, it's been created here on top. Let me bring it back down here. A progress bar, I'm going to see what's here. First, I'm going to insert my data, right? So 30.2%, that is the amount of people subscribed to the channel. Line weight, let's see, can make this a bit wider, all the way to 20. Percentage label, yes, I would love to have my label here. Rounded endpoints, no. I'm not in this mood of everything rounded here in the design. I prefer, and maybe I want this to be positioned exactly at the center. I prefer to have, I still don't know what to do with these guys. I prefer to have my straight edges for this entire design. You see everything, nothing is really rounded except from these lines. And I could even change that. So when you have lines, you can change the extremities of the lines, okay? So for example, you can untick that. How do I have just a normal line? cannot untick it. That's, oh yeah, right here. Could have this just straight lines. Let's see if I can copy style. Yep, I can. So if you copy the style of your lines, it will get rid of the rounded. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm good with this. All right, so this needs to be obviously this color right here, 30.2%, not subscribed yet. So a couple of things I could do here. First, I want to illustrate this subscribe action on YouTube. So usually the subscribe, it's like a button that says subscribe. So I'm kind of tempted, I could use this infographic to actually have a call to action. I would love more people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I could create that button. Okay, so let's create a text box with my T key. Okay, so bringing the text box here, and it's just going to say subscribe now. Okay, so I want this to be uppercase, subscribe now. And I'm going to use an effect and the background to create kind of like a button around it. I'm going to bump the spread some more to the maximum, to 100. And I'm going to change this color for our golden color right here. Okay, subscribe now. So now I have a button, which is cool. I can probably make that bigger because this is kind of like the main item on my infographic. This is the call to action. I'm going to group these two back together. And I will style this document in a second. I realize I need to scale up and down a few things. So these guys, I'm going to get rid of them because I have another idea. Okay, I would like to use my Bitmojis. So for those of you who don't know what Bitmojis are, it is an integration that you can use with Canva, okay, to have your cartoon representation of yourself, your Bitmoji, and use that in Canva. So you will find this under the More button, and you'll see create something new with Bitmoji, okay? So here, my Bitmoji character has already been created and it's already been connected to Canva. But if it's the first time you use that, you will need to connect Canva to your Snapchat account, because in order to create your Bitmoji, you will need a Snapchat account. I'm not going to show you all of this in this course, but just know that you will need a Snapchat account. You'll need to go through the process of creating your Bitmoji. I have another class about this you can find, but for now, I'm just going to be using the Bitmoji and just letting you know it's there. Okay, so what I want to do from here is to find a Bitmoji of Ronnie, like kind of like Ronnie searching, or Ronnie looking. What do I have here? So yeah, I have different things. Cannot really find exactly what I'm looking for. Let's just scroll down like so and see if I can find, there's some funny ones. Find something that would illustrate what I'm looking for here. Okay, so there is one that I found here after a little bit of searching, this Bitmoji right here. So I clicked on it and it's brought to my design. I'm going to flip this horizontally. Yep. And I'm going to be using this one right here. Okay, so just want to bring a little bit of visual elements to this infographic right here that looked a little bit sad, to be honest. So, okay, I have one Bitmoji here. I could have another one here pointing to the button, to the subscribe button. And by all means, I will make this button clickable. Well, actually, let's do that now. I'm going to add a link to this button, and the link would be a bit.ly/, and then this is a shortened link to my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to underline this. And now this button should be bringing us to this bit.ly URL right here. So I'm going to test this URL with a new tab, just going to paste it here. And this should bring me, yes,
Today I'm going to show you step by step
to my direct subscribe link. So there are some special links on YouTube to send your viewers to a pop-up box prompting them to subscribe to your channel. So that's what I use here. I have shortened that link, and yeah, so I'm using this as much as I can. So people are facing a choice. They have this pop-up, they need to click yes, I subscribe, or no. All right, so I like this one right here, this other Bitmoji pointing. So I'm gonna be using that. And maybe I could have it behind. Yes, so I'm placing it backwards. I could have it like so, maybe even still a little bit bigger. Okay, so this looks pretty good. It's fun. And on top of subscribing, I would love if people could also hit the bell so they receive a notification every time we publish something new. So I'm going to go to my elements and search for a YouTube bell icon. Okay, so YouTube bell icon. Could use this one. I could use this one. Let me filter by graphics. Yep, I'm not going to use any animated ones because this design is going to be still. So there's some free ones. That's the good news. So for example, this one right here is free. This one is free as well. This one as well. This one as well. So yeah, there's a bunch of choice. Let's use a free one. Bring it down. And I'm going to align it with the rest of my text here. Use this color. And yeah, I'm pretty good with this. So this is where we are so far. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, 6 different pieces of data right here, which is pretty cool. Now what I'm going to do is to style this document. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and I'm going to apply my brand fonts and my brand colors to this document, okay? So one thing I could do also is to represent which channel are we talking about right here. So we are talking about the Design with Canva YouTube channel, okay? So this channel right here. If I click, if I want to see what the channel is all about, I can come here and go to my channel, okay? So this is the channel I want to promote, and therefore I could use the same logo that we have in our profile picture right here. Okay, so let's do this. Let's come back to our graphic here. And these logos are in my Team Rondi's brand kit. You see I have several brand kits, one for Fair Trade Connection, Team Rondi, Rondi's brand kit. So these are part of the Team Rondi's brand kit, okay? So I'm gonna use this one. So I'm gonna click on my design, bring this logo right here. I'm gonna snap it a little bit closer. Don't need all of this space around it. I'm gonna reduce it. And I'm going to push it up to here. Maybe reduce it slightly more. I like that I can actually position it on the line. This looks pretty cool. This Bitmoji right here seems a little bit too big. So yeah, so I like it, but I don't want it to be so prominent. So maybe what I can do, yeah, is to have it like so. This looks more reasonable. Okay, next, let's have a look at the fonts, okay? So I do have my Team Rondi's fonts. My main font is Montserrat semi-bold, and then my secondary font is Montserrat. And then I have like a fantasy font or an accent font, which is Northern Soul Caps. Let's use the main fonts only. So for this title right here, should be Montserrat semi-bold. And same here, Montserrat semi-bold. Okay, our audience on YouTube. Okay, so everything here needs to be consistent. So Montserrat semi-bold. This should also be the main font, and this one right here should be Montserrat. Okay, size 10. I'm gonna bump this to size 12, and the title maybe size 18. So I slightly make this text box bigger. Okay, so this looks good. What I could do is to bring in the guides and the rulers and guides. So show rulers, show guides, and I'm gonna quickly create some boundaries here that I should probably try to stay within these boundaries, at least with my text and my graphs. Okay, good. So I have the first section here looking good. I will take care of the colors in a bit, but for now, I want to use this and bring it inside the safe zone. And same for this one here. So I'm clicking outside, trying to select everything from this box and yeah, bringing it back in the middle. So it's in between my guides here. Let me zoom in slightly more. Okay, this looks good. It seems like this one is not completely touching the guide. Oh, yes, it was. Okay, so this is good. This guy right here should probably be, I have to make a decision if I want the text inside. I could probably have it inside. It would be slightly cleaner. And so this one, I need to also apply my fonts. So this is going to be Montserrat semi-bold in 18. And this one, I can use my my copy style button. Okay, so there. And simply, whoops, this is not what I wanted to do. Just going to, yes, make this spread over more lines, like so. What about this one? I could probably change this as well to my Montserrat font. Okay, so this is pretty good. 8.5, I'm happy with this. And I could try to make everything fit within the boundaries of my guides right here. This is good. All right, this is looking pretty sweet. Continuing the styling. Okay, so same thing here. Montserrat semi-bold. You know what? I'm just going to use my copy style button because I love it. There you go. And then this text box, copy style to this. Okay. And then now I could maybe stretch this slightly more. So I have enough space here for my subscribe button. Okay, the subscribe button kind of needs enough space because this is really where I want people to focus. Okay, so I'm going to bring back these two things down a bit. Not too much down, but a little bit more. So I give more space to this button here. You see, and I could probably attract the attention of people more to it by changing its color. Okay, so this needs to be my proper font. So this one right here, size 20, seems about right. Let's make sure everything is on brand. This is not. So Montserrat semi-bold, and I can probably reduce this so that it touches my guide right here. And yeah, this is looking pretty awesome, guys. Really happy about where we are. Just going to go through some details here and making sure everything is aligned, is using the proper font. You see, you can still find, yep, right here, some fonts that are not the right ones. So I'm just going to go and continue going through them until everything is perfect. Okay, so this one could go up slightly. I'm going to use it again to paste here, like so. And then finally, like this text right here should be Montserrat. And let's go for 12. Is that possible? It's a little bit big. So let's go for 8.5 then. That's a little bit small. Maybe we can find a compromise and settle for 10. Yes, 10 looks about right. Oops, what did I do? Copy style button. There we go. And then these guys, yep, Montserrat 8.5, we are good to go. Okay, so I think now all of my text has been styled. Okay, so one last thing I could do is to have Diana a little bit more represented here, because she's here in the logo with me, but I'm only using my own Bitmojis. So I would love to have a Bitmoji from Diana. And because it is not possible to link several Bitmoji accounts to your Canva account, what I have done, I have asked Diana to send me, to take some of her Bitmojis, put them in a folder and share that folder with me. So I have that here under, this is one of my pro accounts, under my folders. Okay, so if I go to folders, I do have a folder which is called Bitmojis right here. And I have Rondi's Bitmojis, so Bitmojis with the both of us, and Diana's Bitmojis. So I'm going to click on Diana's, and you'll see there's one document. It's just a Canva document in which she has pasted a series of Bitmojis on different pages. So I'm going to add a page and just click here and see all of Diana's Bitmojis. What I want to find here is a Bitmoji of Diana kind of pointing to the bell icon. So let's see if I can find one. Maybe here on this page, I kind of have to, yep, this one right here. This could really work. So I'm going to go for that. Maybe make it smaller, like so, and bring Diana here. Okay, so this is good. Maybe I can put it here and flip it. Yes, this is going to work. This is looking pretty good. Okay, so there we go. I just taught you a little hack for Bitmojis. If you work with a partner, if you have a team, it is impossible at the moment to link several Bitmoji accounts to your Canva account. Only one can be linked. But you see, this is a hack. If someone has their own Bitmoji connected, they can create a Canva document like this one. It's a simple like Instagram post document and paste all of their Bitmojis, save that document and share it with you so you can use that. All right, so this is just a little trick. The last thing I would do to wrap up this design and this project is to style it with colors. Okay, so let's go and find our color palette from Team Rondi. I have several actually, just a question of deciding which colors I want to use as my dominant color. Here it's this golden color. Let's use a different color. I could go also, instead of using the team's colors, well, let's go find the team's colors first. So we have all of these color palettes. I would love to have something that reminds of YouTube. Okay, so maybe this one, and we could have like a red dominant color. So yeah, why not? I could do that. So let's do that. I'm gonna switch this color for this one. And you see, Canva is going to suggest me that I change all of this golden color for this red. I'm gonna accept that, change all. There we go. So it was relatively easy to style all of this document. The last thing I need to change now is this button right here. Okay, so I do have this button with a background. So to change the color of the background, I'll need to go to my effects and change it from here. So if I want to use the same color, that would be this one. I could use that, but it doesn't really stick out from the rest. If I want it to stick out, I need a different color. What color could I use? Let me
Faceless grind, I'm paving my lane. Me 2 times, yeah, we changing the game. Elevate me to you, vibe is brand new. Built it from scratch, now we teaching you. Hit that sub, let the vision come true. This ain't just content, it's what we do.